Chen Tianqi died unexpectedly in the college entrance examination room after staying up late the day before the exam to watch Douluo Continent. Unexpectedly, she woke up and crossed to Douluo Continent and was bound to the collapse system. At the beginning of the game, she received a big gift package to obtain the dual core of Kongli. However, in this world, Chen Tianqi is just a lonely family, typical of crossing the Douluo Continent and losing both parents. In Douluo Continent, joining the Martial Soul Hall as a refugee is the best choice. Since Chen Tianqi has joined the Martial Soul Hall, she must protect its peace. Tang-san, I'm sorry. Author's profile is useless. This novel is also my first one, and it may have been written very poorly. I apologize, but it was just written during the summer vacation after the middle school entrance exam in junior high school. It was updated according to the situation, and I had to stop writing when I went to school. Chapter 1. Journey Through Time. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Cough 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 cough, what's the situation? I'm not taking the college entrance examination, why did I suddenly come here? Chen Tianqi got up from the smelly garbage dump and looked around with a bewildered expression. He looked at the trash cans around him, each one almost taller than others, and couldn't help but look puzzled. Are all the trash cans this high now? He couldn't help but think. I extended my hands again and looked at it. It didn't matter if I didn't look, I was startled. How did his hands become so small? At this moment, a voice suddenly sounded in his mind. A suitable host has been detected, and the crashing system has started binding. Successfully binding. Host Chen Tianqi, hello. Welcome to Douluo Continent. Chen Tianqi's mind suddenly went blank. Crash the system. Douluo Continent. So, am I traveling? Yes, my host. Due to your sudden death in the original world, you accidentally crossed to Douluo Continent. I am your golden finger, breaking the system. No matter how bewildered Chen Tianqi was, he now understood that he had traveled through time. After all, he was a lonely man in the original world. His parents died early and he could live on the relief fund. Sometimes he even thought about getting rid of it, but the anime gave him the impetus to live. He has played the game, Collapse 3, and it is an 88-level-old salted fish that he has been playing for many years. The plot of Douluo Continent can also be said to be back, with the power system that destroys the world, even any lawmaker can defeat the Divine King-level powerhouses of Douluo Continent. Since he has traveled, he also wants to be unparalleled in another world like other travelers. System, what is the period of Douluo Continent now? Also, could you change the image? I think some novel systems can change the image. Answer the host, now is the period of the first part of Douluo Continent, and the current pope of the Martial Soul Hall is Bibidong. Xian Renxue is 7 years old and Tang San is 2 years old. There are still 4 years left until the start of the original storyline. I can't remember the age difference between Qian Renxue and Tang San, so I'll design Hulaina and Qian Renxue to be the same age. Host, this system is a disruptive system that can transform into any image in the disruptive world. I see, Tang San is only 2 years old now. Although he is the protagonist, Chen Tianqi feels that he is more like a villain in the original work, and he indulges in promiscuity everywhere. Although he only recognizes Xiao Wu, the girls who fall into his hands are unknown. Chen Tianqi held down the urge to strangle Tang San now and thought about what image to change the system into. Suddenly, he had a flash of inspiration. System, you can transform into the image of an armed doll and fairy named Ellie. I will always love Alicia. Good host. With a burst of digital sound, Chen Tianqi felt a little person appear in her mind, not just the fairy Ellie. Cute little Tianqi baby, Fairy Ellie can obey your orders anytime and anywhere. However, you can't cross the line. Hee hee. Upon hearing the Fairy Ellie's words, Chen Tianqi's heart was about to be adorable. I feel that as long as I stay with Alicia, no matter how bad my mood is, it can be instantly cured. Is this the endless charm of Alicia? I didn't expect to see her in reality one day. I hope it won't be a dream. Chen Tianqi couldn't help but sigh. After all, Alicia is really a very tragic hero. Chapter 2. Novice Gift Pack. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Hey, lovely Tianqi baby, don't you think this place smells bad? I can smell it in your mind. Ellie, the fairy, complained discontentedly. Chen Tianqi finally snapped out of the excitement of time travel and realized that he was still in the garbage dump. He quickly rushed out and sat down next to the street. Fairy Ellie, do you have my personal panel? Of course there is. Speaking, the fairy Ellie opened Chen Tianqi's personal panel. Name, Chen Tianqi, age, 6 years old, has reached the age of martial soul awakening, martial soul, not awakened unawakened soul power, ability, unawakened, prop, none, camp, not joined. Chen Tianqi looked at his personal panel and realized that he had turned 6 years old. He also gained the memories of this body before. When the original owner was 3 years old, the village was invaded by wolf thieves. Except for him who had escaped from hiding with his mother under the bed, everyone else in the village was slaughtered completely. It can be said that he was a celestial ghost and a lone star. Scared, Chen Tianqi ran out of the village in a panic, but due to his only age of 3 at the time, he was unable to support himself and could only make a living by flipping through the garbage. Due to constantly eating garbage, his body can be said to be extremely rotten compared to his peers. There is only one super cute childlike appearance, indicating a handsome young man. But Douluo Continent is not a world that completely depends on face. And due to constantly dealing with garbage, his body was extremely dirty, messy, and smelly, and his delicate little face was covered in mud and dust. His figure is very thin and small, which can be said to be a skinny dwarf. He was also bullied by other children as a result. Yesterday, the original owner pushed a child to the ground to avoid being beaten, and the child cried and went back to find his father. His father came today to fight and kick the original owner in order to protect the child. As a result, one accidentally kicked the original owner to death. He was afraid of being discovered by others and threw the original owner into the garbage dump. At this moment, Chen Tianqi happened to die suddenly in the exam room, so her soul pierced directly into this body. The original owner is really pitiful. Not only was the village destroyed and the family destroyed, but also someone was bullied while flipping through garbage to make a living. It's really unfortunate in life. Chen Tianqi sighed. By the way, Fairy Ellie, as a system, you should have a beginner's gift package or something like that, right? Cute Tianqi baby, of course there is. Are you sure you want to open it now? Sure. Chen Tianqi rubbed his hands excitedly. After all, he had read many travel articles. Generally speaking, the beginner gift package is very generous, and he is also looking forward to receiving some good things from his beginner gift package. Wow! Congratulations to the host for obtaining. The core of the law of emptiness is 1, the core of the law of reason is 1, the character Bella summoning card, Beibeling version, is 1, and the divine key, the void treasure, is 1. Sleeping trough, so many good things. Chen Tianqi was shocked. After all, these things are probably capable of destroying heaven and earth when placed in Douluo Continent. Cute Tianqi baby, the 2 core pieces of the Lawmaker can blend into oneself to transform into your martial soul, or into the body of others to transform into a martial soul. After trying out the character Bella summoning card, you can summon Bella, but this Bella is your age and very weak. Benares has transformed into her martial soul and can continuously become stronger. The emptiness of Wan Song is equivalent to the super brain in your mind, which can be continuously improved. Chapter 3. Obtain Twin Martial Souls. You are listening at novelfull.audio. I see, I'll just say it. If it were the original dual core and Bella, perhaps they could have been completely destroyed. Chen Tianqi breathed a sigh of relief. Integrating the core of the law of emptiness and the core of the law of reason, summon Bella and use the void Manzang. Chen Tianqi used all 4 items in one breath. Ding, congratulations to the host for using it. Ha! Is that all right? So hasty. Chen Tianqi couldn't help but wonder. The time travel articles he reads, basically every time he merges something, it hurts half to death. Why is he doing nothing? Can't these dual cores be fake? While Chen Tianqi was thinking, a small hand pulled her arm. Chen Tianqi looked up and saw a little girl of his age standing in front of him. The little girl has short, light purple hair that is as brilliant and mysterious as the Milky Way. Her deep purple eyes are as brilliant as gemstones and as profound and mysterious as the universe. She is wearing a silver long dress. Isn't this exactly Bella? Chen Tianqi looked at Bella, accidentally stunned. Although he had seen Bella, a stunning woman, in the game, he was even more amazed to see her in reality. Bella pulled on Chen Tianqi again, and Chen Tianqi finally regained her senses. Chen Tianqi touched Bella's soft long hair and said softly, "Bella, I am Chen Tianqi. From now on, I will be your brother, just call me Tianqi brother." Brother Tianqi. Bella smiled sweetly at Chen Tianqi. "Ailey, are you still there? Why doesn't my body feel anything?" After calming Bella, Chen Tianqi asked the fairy Ailey again. "Humph, Tianqi baby, don't compare me to those third-rate systems. These 2 cores have been transformed by me into the most suitable energy for you and perfectly integrated into your body, without any pain," said the fairy Ailey proudly. "I see." Chen Tianqi suddenly realized, it seems that the fairy Ailey was wrongly blamed. "Ellie, open the personal panel. Name, Chen Tianqi, age, 6 years old, has reached the age of martial soul awakening, martial soul, those who abide by the law of emptiness, not awakened, and those who abide by the law of reason, not awakened, unawakened soul power, prop, none, camp, not joined. It seems that we still need to go to the martial soul hall to awaken our martial soul. Indeed, the rules of the world are amazing, and even the lawmaker cannot violate the rules of this world. By the way, can I see Bella's personal panel, of course?" Ellie said as she opened Bella's personal panel. Name, Bella, age, 6 years old, martial soul, Benares, unawakened, unawakened soul power, ability, unawakened. It seems that due to the world rules of Douluo Continent, Benares has been transformed into Bella's martial soul. Chen Tianqi immediately decided to take Bella to the martial soul hall to awaken her martial soul. After all the combat power of Douluo Continent is built on the foundation of the martial soul. "Bella, Tianqi brother is going to take you to a place next. Follow me closely. Don't get lost." Chen Tianqi touched Bella's soft hair and said with a smile. Tianqi brother, don't worry. Bella must be well behaved." Bella nodded obediently. Chen Tianqi finally felt at ease and prepared to depart. The next second, his footsteps paused again. "Martial Soul Hall, how did you come here?" Chen Tianqi is distressed. As someone who has just crossed the Douluo Continent, he can be said to be unfamiliar with his place, but he also does not want to ask passers-by. Don't ask, asking is social anxiety. At this moment, a voice rang out in Chen Tianqi's mind. "Master, have you forgotten about me?" Chapter 4. Soto City Martial Soul Branch Hall. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Co Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 5. Bella's Awakening. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. It wasn't long before Chen Tianqi and Bella awakened their martial souls. Chen Tianqi took Bella's little hand and walked into the awakening room. In addition to them, there were 8 little boys and girls of the same age as them. Some of these children looked curiously at Chen Tianqi and Bella, but others just looked at them disdainfully, with a faint smile on their lips. Because Chen Tianqi and Bella are dressed in tattered clothes and rags that are really beyond praise. Their disheveled and rustic appearance completely concealed their rebellious looks. Although they looked down on Chen Tianqi and Bella, they didn't say much and only hoped to awaken their martial souls quickly and stay away from them. Chen Tianqi was the last among 10 people to awaken her martial soul, while Bella was the second to last. Some of the 8 people in front of them awakened the blue-silver grass, while others were hoes, and they basically had no innate soul power. Only a little boy who has awakened the martial soul of the grassland wolf has a 3rd-level innate soul power. The little boy looked excited and then looked at Chen Tianqi and Bella. There was no contempt or disdain in his eyes, only curiosity, as if he was very interested in what kind of martial soul they would awaken. "Child, come forward and extend your right hand," the awakening master said gently to Bella. "Go ahead, come on." Chen Tianqi released her grip on Bella and encouraged her. Bella nodded lightly. Bella then stepped forward into the awakening formation and extended her right hand. The awakening master releases soul power towards the awakening formation, urging the formation. After a buzzing sound, Bella's body gradually floated up, and then a huge phantom appeared behind her. This phantom has a blue and white color scheme, with wings on its back and 4 legs under its massive streamlined body. Its claws are incredibly large and sharp. The awakening master stared blankly at this scene and then began to ponder. After a while, he exclaimed in shock, "Is this a dragon?" Bella had already fallen back to the ground and looked curiously at the bewildered awakening master, asking, "Uncle, has my awakening come to an end?" The awakening master finally came to his senses and excitedly said, "No, no, no, you haven't tested your innate soul power yet. Come and give it a try. Just put your hands on it." The awakening master took a blue crystal ball beside him and handed it to Bella, who put her right hand into it. The crystal ball suddenly emitted a sparkling light, illuminating the entire awakening room like a small sun. A few children next to them were stunned by this scene, because they had never seen such a bright crystal ball before. Even the child who had 3rd-level innate soul power before could only emit a faint light. Surprisingly, it's innate soul power. The awakening master exclaimed in shock, "Child, are you willing to join the martial soul hall?" Sure enough, we started recruiting. You ask my brother, I've been following him all along, I'll go wherever he goes. Bella shook her head and pointed her little index finger at Chen Tianqi, saying. Chen Tianqi suddenly felt like she had been sold by her sister. Isn't this a transfer of hatred? Well, I haven't awakened my martial soul yet, Chen Tianqi said awkwardly as she touched the back of her head. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I was so excited for a moment. Come on, I'll awaken your martial soul. The awakening master apologized and warmly waved to Chen Tianqi. The awakening master thought to himself, this little girl is so amazing, shouldn't her brother be too bad? Chapter 6. Awakening Twin Martial Souls. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Tianqi stepped forward into the formation and spread out her right hand. The awakening master slowly infused soul power into it. At this moment, Chen Tianqi neither had any weapons in her hand, nor did she have any phantom soul beasts emerging, but she had undergone a change in herself. I saw that Chen Tianqi's original brown hair had turned into silver, and her brown pupils had also turned red, with a heart-like pattern in the center of the pupils. Chen Tianqi, dressed in tattered clothes and rags, now transformed into a sky-blue noble dress. Just looking at her, Chen Tianqi felt incredibly sacred. This is Chen Tianqi's state of possession of the martial soul of the law of reason. As he did not want to expose the twin martial souls, he did not reveal the form of the law of empty. However, the awakening master was not calm at this moment. Because he had never seen such a martial soul before, but the noble and sacred aura emanating from Chen Tianqi's body at this moment undoubtedly demonstrated his extraordinary martial soul. The awakening master quickly handed the crystal ball to Chen Tianqi, and Chen Tianqi put her hand on it. The crystal ball suddenly emitted a stronger light than Bella's innate full soul power before, but within a few seconds, the crystal ball continued to crack. Finally, a few seconds later, the crystal ball exploded with a loud bang. A few children next to me were so frightened by this scene that their mouths widened. The awakening master also widened his eyes when he saw this scene, because it meant that Chen Tianqi's innate soul power had exceeded level 10. In their martial soul hall, only Qian Renxue, who is the young master of the worship hall, has this talent. Qian Renxue possesses a divine-level martial soul with 6 winged angels and an innate full soul power of 20 levels, making him an unparalleled genius. Thinking of this, the awakening master's gaze towards Chen Tianqi became extremely fanatical. Then he took out a crystal ball that was larger than the previous one and handed it to Chen Tianqi, saying gently, "Come on, children, try this again." Chen Tianqi nodded and put her hand up. I saw the crystal ball emit a dazzling blue light, but it did not crack and explode like before. The level of combat power in the collapse world is much higher than that in the Douluo Continent world, so the Lawmaker, as a divine-level martial soul, can be said to be more than enough. Level 20. Surprisingly, its innate full soul power level 20. The awakening master exclaimed and then asked Chen Tianqi, "Child, what kind of martial soul are you? And your sister?" Chen Tianqi hesitated for a moment before saying, "My martial soul told me that he is called the Law of Reason. As for my sister, I don't know either." Chen Tianqi knows that his martial soul is normal, but knowing that Bella's martial soul is abnormal, after all, this is Benares, and there is no record of the martial soul hall, so he cannot expose it. Bella lowered her head slightly and whispered, "My soul told me it's called Benares, a dragon soul." "Good, good." The awakening master excitedly said 3 times and then asked Chen Tianqi enthusiastically, "Are you willing to join the martial soul hall? With your talents, you can definitely be fully trained by the martial soul hall, and even become our disciple under the Pope's crown is not impossible." Chen Tianqi actually decided to join the martial soul hall a long time ago, which is exactly what he wants at this time. So Chen Tianqi pretended to be pleasantly surprised and said, "Really? Then let's join the martial soul hall." The awakening master nodded with satisfaction, this time attracting 2 geniuses, and his status should also be able to be elevated. The awakening master said to Chen Tianqi, "That's the decision. In a few days, you can come to the martial soul branch hall again. I'll ask someone else to take you to the martial soul city." Chapter 7. Dust Song Pot. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Tianqi agreed and left the martial soul hall with Bella, but now Chen Tianqi is a bit embarrassed because he doesn't have a place to live. "Are you there, Ellie?" Chen Tianqi prepared to seek help from the fairy Ellie. "Cute little Tianqi baby, is there anything wrong?" Fairy Ellie replied lively. "Do you have a place to live or something like that?" I'm looking for it." "Ah, I found it, here you are," said the fairy Ellie excitedly. Then in Chen Tianqi's hand, something resembling a teapot appeared. There were many ancient patterns on the outside of the teapot, which looked like an old antique. Chen Tianqi looked at the teapot, and the corners of his mouth twitched. "Isn't this a dust song pot? How did you manage to get things out of the Genshin Impact world?" Eli, the spirit, naturally replied, "The Genshin Impact world is just a world bubble that has been stabilized by anchor points in the Sea of Quantum that has destroyed the main world. Can't it be regarded as a world bubble in the destroyed world?" Chen Tianqi seemed to make some sense, so she nodded and pulled Bella towards the outside of the city. After all, he didn't want to perform a great transformation inside the city. Chen Tianqi and Bella walked out of the city wall without any danger and then went outside the city, looking around to see where the forest was. A sudden burst of crying caught Chen Tianqi's attention. He looked in the direction of the crying and found a baby. Chen Tianqi walked over with Bella and squatted down to carefully examine the baby. This baby is about a year old, with short fiery red hair on its head, a slender figure, wearing tattered clothes and rags, and a dirty face. Void Wanzang, is this Ma Hongjun? The fiery red hair reminded Chen Tianqi of Ma Hongjun, so he asked Void Wanzang. Yes, my master, this is Ma Hongjun. Void Wanzang's voice came in. With the affirmation of Void Wanzang, Chen Tianqi immediately picked up Ma Hongjun and comforted him, unable to help but laugh and cry, because the meeting place was too bizarre. Bella, how about we adopt this child? Chen Tianqi asked Bella. He's really pitiful alone. Tianqi, let's adopt him. Bella nodded lightly. Chen Tianqi smiled at Bella and then walked into a forest with the two of them, taking out the dust song pot and diving inside. Chen Tianqi only felt that after a whirlwind, she had arrived in another world. There is a 3-story villa here, surrounded by gardens and vegetable gardens, as well as some small animals such as rabbits and cats and dogs. Wow! This place is so beautiful. How did you do it, Tianqi brother? Bella looked around in shock and asked Chen Tianqi incredulously. Amazing, this is the dust song pot. In the future, we won't have to spend time outdoors and can just sneak in. Chen Tianqi smiled proudly. Chen Tianqi pulled Bella and hugged Ma Hongjun into the big villa. On the first floor, there was a large living room, as well as a restaurant, kitchen, and bathroom. There was a refrigerator and several stoves in the kitchen, and the refrigerator was full of ingredients, including all kinds of meat and vegetables. There is a TV and a sofa in the living room, and there is a coffee table in front of it. On the coffee table, there is a set of good-looking tea sets and several cans of tea. There are several drawers under the coffee table, and Chen Tianqi pulled them all open and found that they were all snacks, such as chips, fries, cola, Sprite, everything. Chen Tianqi swallowed her saliva and sighed blankly. The system is really a great person. Of course, this system is not the same as those in the system text. Not only is it being hacked to death, but it's also constantly trying to kill the host. The things I give are all excellent, and there's no punishment for mission failures. Fairy Ellie smiled proudly. Oh, by the way, don't be afraid to finish all these things in the dust song pot. After a day, everything here will refresh, but only the first floor will refresh, not the second and third floors. Chapter 8. Niubi's Dust Song Pot. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. De Ko Lois Ara Trong Quatrin Lay Text. Chapter 9. Bibidong's Decision. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. On the other hand, the Awakening Master had already written a letter and handed it to the messenger of the Martial Soul Hall who had flying martial souls to deliver the message. The messenger received the letter, and then the martial soul-possessed body spread its wings and flew towards the Pope's palace. In the magnificent palace of the Pope, on the top throne sits a beautiful woman dressed in a golden robe, wearing a 9-curved purple golden crown, and holding an angel's scepter with a graceful and magnificent face. This stunning woman is the contemporary Pope Bibidong of the Martial Soul Hall. At this moment, Bibidong was holding this letter in his hand, which was clearly written by the Awakening Master for Chen Tianqi and Bella to awaken their martial souls. The letter read: Respected Pope, I have discovered a pair of exceptionally talented siblings while awakening my martial souls in the Soul Branch Hall of Soto City. Brother Chen Tianqi possesses a divine-level martial soul with innate full soul power of level 20, known as the Law of Reason. Sister Bella has a super dragon martial soul named Benares with innate full soul power of level 10, and I'm sure this martial soul is far superior to the first beast martial soul on the continent, the blue electric Tyrannosaurus Rex. Their siblings have already agreed to join the Martial Soul Hall. I hope the Pope can send someone to pick them up and receive key training in the Martial Soul City. Bibidong was a bit surprised when he looked at it for the first time, and then he looked at it again. After confirming that he was not mistaken, he thought to himself, is there a divine-level martial soul like Qian Renxue, and a dragon-type martial soul with a super martial soul? Currently, I don't have any disciples under my name, so my siblings are a good choice. After making a decision, Bibidong said in a deep voice, Elder Chrysanthemum. Under the Islamic imperial crown, my subordinate is here. At this moment, a man with an extremely feminine appearance that was even difficult to distinguish between men and women, and a voice that was equally feminine, replied. This man was the Chrysanthemum Douluo Moon Pass, who was given the title of Chrysanthemum. Elder Ju, 2 days later, go to the Martial Soul Branch Hall of Soto City and bring Chen Tianqi and Bella siblings to the Papal Hall, Bibidong instructed. Yes, under the crown of the Pope. Although Moon Pass had some doubts at this moment, he still agreed. Chen Tianqi didn't know this, he was now lying on the big bed in the bedroom, bored. He suddenly thought that he didn't know how to hunt soul rings. Bella and the martial soul of the law of emptiness are easy to say, but how can the law of reason choose a soul ring? Fairy Ellie suddenly appeared and said to Chen Tianqi, Tianqi baby, don't worry about soul rings. Both of your martial souls can automatically attach soul rings, and each soul ring is equivalent to a 100,000-year soul ring in this world, with 2 skills. Bella and the characters you will acquire in the future are also the same. I see. Can you disguise the color of the soul ring? Chen Tianqi asked. After all, he didn't want to be too eye-catching. Wearing a 100,000-year soul ring was not a way to seek death. Of course, please set the color of the soul ring. Then let's have 1 or 2 rings of purple, 3 to 7 rings of black, and 8 or 9 rings of red. Bella and I will also get the same characters later. Then Chen Tianqi opened up his martial soul, the law of reason. At this moment, he was surrounded by 2 purple halos, which were 2,000-year soul rings. Chen Tianqi felt the soul skills brought by the 2 soul rings. The first soul skill, the first skill, later abbreviated as 1.1, and so on. Analysis. Can analyze and understand the structure and principles of various items and energy bodies. Seeing this, Chen Tianqi's eyes lit up directly because he didn't need to work hard to understand. 1.2, Construction. It is possible to construct objects and constructs that have been parsed. There's nothing to say about this, it's just the basic ability of those who break the laws of reason in the world, but there is indeed a bug. 2.1, this divine artifact can be used to summon the newly installed bunny, the one belonging to Blonia, and can use any form changes, including but not limited to motorcycle form. The newly installed bunny only needs to use its mind to summon it, without the need to activate martial souls and soul rings. When using the newly installed bunny, there is no need to consume soul power. Chen Tianqi was so happy that he wanted to jump up. With this soul skill, he could also drive a Gundam and ride a motorcycle. 2.2, Inspiration of the Realm of Floating Cannon Truth. Summoning the Realm of Floating Cannon Truth. Revelation. Currently, the maximum number of summonable items is 210, with an additional 10 for each level increase. When reaching level 90, the number of summonable items can be increased to 1000. After that, each level increase can increase by 1000. The power of each floating cannon is equivalent to the full force of the Haotian Hammer Soul Master at their own level. Chen Tianqi was stunned. Isn't this soul skill turning him into a mobile gun turret? And with such a large number and amazing attack power, it's really a mobile artillery platform. Don't say it's a fight in the future, just seeing so many cannon heads pointing at others can scare them silly. Chapter 10. Saint Freya Family Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chen Tianqi's blood boiled when she thought of her powerful soul skills. Suddenly curious about Bella's soul skills, she got out of bed and walked towards Bella downstairs, who was watching TV. Sister, unlock your martial soul, Chen Tianqi said excitedly to Bella. Oh, okay. Bella looked at the excited Chen Tianqi with some confusion, but she still opened her martial soul. I saw Bella also wearing a purple soul ring on her body. Ha! What is Tianqi brother? Bella asked curiously as she looked at the soul ring. This is a soul ring that can give us soul skills. What is your soul skill? Let me take a look. My first soul skill has two. The first is shockwave, which gives me the ability to fly and is a passive skill that neither consumes soul power nor needs to trigger soul skills. The second one is earth shaking, using dragon claws to strike the ground can cause damage to enemies and briefly stun. Sure enough, it's strong. Chen Tianqi sighed. He suddenly thought of his first soul skill. Could it also analyze the human body and then construct a person? Ding! Congratulations to the host for having an outrageous idea in their mind. Now rewards. Thunder Law Core, Wind Law Core, Character Card Chaos Star Spine, Advanced Edition, Character Card Immortal Star Anchor, Advanced Edition. Wow, what a great reward. However, the reason for the reward made Chen Tianqi look a bit uncomfortable. But this way, one can disguise themselves as a hidden family called the Saint Freya family, using Rita and Yolandale as their bodyguards, and their identities as the young masters and ladies of the family. Character card, use it. Chen Tianqi said eagerly. I saw a flash of light in front of Chen Tianqi and Bella, and Rita and Yolandale appeared in front of them. I don't want to describe their appearance anymore, it's too troublesome. I won't write about their appearance in the future, just write their names. Since Bella, Rita, and Yolandale are all produced in space, they all understand what the situation is. Change the settings. Bella was not aware of the system before, but it was too troublesome to explain every time something was done, so they changed it. Even though Chen Tianqi spoke out his plan to a few people, they all agreed. After all, the strength of Rita and Yolandale can be said to be invincible on the mainland. Chen Tianqi once again told Bella about his idea of creating people, and Bella agreed. So Chen Tianqi launched the first soul technique analysis towards Bella. An hour later, Chen Tianqi, who was sitting cross-legged on the ground, took a deep breath and finally finished analyzing. After all, the human body is still very complex, especially the brain, and it is quite difficult to fully analyze it. Then Chen Tianqi began to use her first soul skill to construct and create humans. Another hour later, the young version of Yai appeared, and then Chen Tianqi integrated the core of the Thunder Law into Yai's body. After another hour, the young version of Wendy appeared, and then Chen Tianqi integrated the core of the Wind Law into Wendy's body. After finishing all of this, Chen Tianqi felt dizzy and her brain was swollen. Although her soul power was still full under the influence of the Dust Song Pot, the Dust Song Pot could not quickly restore her divine power, although it was also helpful. After greeting, Chen Tianqi went back to her room and fell asleep.